Jaguar pilots, but he's very experienced in the display world, having displayed the Jaguar, spent 3 years previously with the Red Arrows, including leading the synchro pair. More recently, he spent 3 years as the official advisor to the Royal Saudi Air Force's display team. The move to Eagle. They do so with very metronomic cadence in their voices, the idea being that on the count of 4 in their heads, the pilots extend their air brakes. And on the count of 6, they retract their air brakes. And that enables the 3 aircraft on each wing to drop back in unison to form the shape of Eagle. And in from the right, they're going to fly the Eagle roll. Now as the jets go upside down, boys and girls, I'll see you waving, give them a big wave. About the history of the Red Arrows. When the Red Arrows first started flying the displays in 1965, the aircraft they used was the Holland Gnat, and that was the advanced jet trainer in the Royal Air Force in that era. But in 1976, the Hawker Siddeley Hawk entered service, and in 1980, the Red Arrows started to use the Hawk as their aerobatic aircraft. The Hawk is now a product of BAE Systems. It's a very successful aviation export, having been sold to 19 countries across the world. And it continues to impress in its guise as an advanced jet trainer. The smoke goes off, out to the front, where it's 4 and 5 have moved forward slightly. This now shows the platform of the Russian fighter jet, the Su-27. You see them reverse this turn now, the smoke comes on. This shape is named after the Su-27, which is codenamed by NATO as Flanker. Well, the formation are about to form a very wide shape now. You'll see Reds 8 and 9 move to the outside of the formation, and from Red 9's left wing through to Red 8's right wing, the formation is going to measure 100 metres or 300 feet wide. To enable the formation to remain as one as they manoeuvre around the sky, the outside pilots really have to anticipate their control inputs, and they do so by using the cadence in Red 1's voice command. So just in a minute, you'll hear that cadence that I'm talking about. But for now, coming in from the left with some very patriotic red, white and blue, and hopefully a huge round of applause, this is Phoenix! Is the first of our 2 first-year pilots for 2014. He is Red 2. His name is Flight Lieutenant Stu Campbell. He used to display the Tucano aircraft, and he was an instructor of basic fast jet training on that type. Operationally, he flew the Tornado GR4. Out to the right, the smoke goes off as the team have formed our trademark shape, and in true 70s style, all 9 jets are going to smoke the Diamond Roll. Another big wave, boys and girls. Of course, I said all 9 jets are going to smoke, with the exception of Red 1, who's in that non-smoking aircraft. And we fly our formations with the odd-numbered pilots on the left-hand side, the even-numbered pilots fly on the right-hand side. And in their 3-year tour with the team, the pilots will generally start at the front near the leader, and as their proficiency improves, they move further back. Well, on the leader's left wing now is Red 3. He's Flight Lieutenant Joe Hurston. Joe is a former Hawk instructor, and operationally he flew the Tornado GR4. In fact, Joe is the only pilot on the team who's instructed on both this version of Hawk, we call the Hawk T Mark 1, but also the Royal Air Force's new advanced jet trainer, the Hawk T Mark 2. Out to the left, the smoke goes off. They're in an iconic shape now of the supersonic airliner. They're going to fly the Concorde Loop.
giving to you.
From 400 miles an hour at 4G at the bottom of the loop, they reach the top of the loop at a mile. The jet slowed down to about 150 miles an hour. The G's backed off to around 1G. You can see the shape has changed again. This is Feathered Arrow. As they start accelerating down the other side of the loop, then back up to 400 miles an hour. The G's building up to 4G. Feathered Arrow is a mouthful to say on the radio. So since the 60s, this shape has been called Fred. That is the end of the first half of the Red Arrow display, ladies and gentlemen. So far you've seen all 9 aircraft performing close formation aerobatics. We're now going to split down into sections of 2, 3, 4, 5 or 7 aircraft and show you some more dynamic manoeuvring. At the front of the formation are Reds 1 to 5. We call them Enid, after Enid Blyton's famous 5. And at the back, Reds 6, 7, 8 and 9 are called Jippo. Jippo was the nickname of the gentleman who first led the back four when the Red Arrows started flying 9-ship displays officially in 1968. Out to the front, you see they are forming that very wide phoenix shape again. And now it's definitely time to get your cameras ready. They roll out directly towards us to start the second half of the display. Reds 1 to 5, 8 and 9 pull up in Phoenix. Now keep your eyes on the synchro pair with the blue smoke underneath. This is the palm split.
Whoa!
With his smoke chasing from blue to white on the left-hand side is Red 6. He's the leader of the synchro pair, Flight Lieutenant James McMillan. It's James's third and final year as a Red Arrow. He actually grew up in New Zealand and was a member of the Royal New Zealand Air Force, but he transferred to the Royal Air Force in 2002 and became a Hawk flying instructor and Harrier pilot. On the left, he's chased down by Red 8. Looking right with the smoke on is Red 7, followed by Red 9. These 4 aircraft are now closing at 850 miles an hour. Get your cameras ready for the amazing Jippo pass. Well, the synchro pair leave their smoke on. They turn away from us at 6G or 6 times the force of gravity. That means everything in their bodies weighs 6 times more than normal. Those pilots work hard to counter the G-force as they roll out back towards us and fly the Cyclone. As the synchro pair slingshot out to the front, you need to look to your left to find Enid. Out to the left, the wings of Enid drop down to form an inverted V shape. And if you look to your right, you'll see a lone jet. That is Red 9. He's now going to perform the Goose. With a red, white and blue stripe is Red 9. He's Flight Lieutenant Mike Child. It's Mike's third year with the team. He's a former Hawk instructor and Hawk display pilot. And operationally, he flew the Typhoon, the Royal Air Force's new multi-role combat aircraft. The Enid climbs steeply to our right. You need to look directly to the front for the synchro pair.
Here's the heart.
Fine crazy height of 7,000 feet, and here comes their smoke as they draw a nice big heart. Now keep your eyes top left of the heart, you'll see Red 8 coming to add a final touch. His smoke's about to come on. Red 8, Flight Lieutenant Martin Pert. He is another third-year pilot with the team, another former Hawk instructor and Harrier pilot who's drawing his spear. Ladies and gentlemen, Red 6, 7 and 8 with their heart and spear. A Red 6 would like to dedicate this heart to his girlfriend Jen and her niece Izzy. So Izzy, this is for you. Left and right for the synchro pair. They're descending to just 100 feet. They're going to perform the opposition barrel roll. Having just speared the heart, he's been flying around at 600 miles an hour to join the rest of them. They pull up at 4G in a 7-ship Vixens formation. Red 1 now twists this towards us through 90 degrees in a quarter clover. Now get your cameras ready. This is the vertical brake. Left and right again for the synchro pair this time. Red 6 comes from our right and Red 7 from our left. They're closing at 800 miles an hour. They're going to cross 3 times in opposing 360 degree 6G turns. This is the carousel. Each of the 3 crosses using the individual colour control buttons on the aircraft's control column. Now look to your right, 45 degrees to find Enid.
Hold on.
Benefit that they're going to draw a snake-like shape of smoke in the sky with some red, white and blue smoke as they fly the Python. That leader's benefit shape is Red 4. Red 4 is Flight Lieutenant Ollie Parr. It's his 2nd year with the team. He's a former Tornado GR4 pilot, but he has spent a tour as a Hawk flying instructor at Royal Air Force Valley on Anglesey, where we train our advanced flying students. So Enid finished the Python out to the left. Keep your eyes in that direction to find Jippo. Red 6 and 7 pitch up to roll upside down.
No way they are.
This is the corkscrew. Red 7 there working hard flying his jet at 8 feet away from Red 6, but doing it while he's upside down. Now move your eyes to the left to find the 5 headlights of Enid. inside pilots perform tight match rolls to the outside of the formation in the rollbacks. Very dynamic rollbacks. Keep your eyes to the right, stand by, Jippo. Once again, red 6 and 7 roll upside down. Now 8 and 9 will match their formation underneath, in from the right. This is the mirror pass. Now boys and girls, give the synchro pair a wave as they fly past upside down. Gives the command for the formation to widen as they roll out into a 4 square card formation. Now look to your right, 45 degrees for Enid. Reds 1 to 4 form a box formation. Now here goes red 5. He's going to roll around Enid a dozen times. This is the twister. Very busy with the red smoke on. Here's red 5, he's Flight Lieutenant Steve Morris. It's Steve's second year with the team. He is also a former Hawk flying instructor. Operationally, he's flown the Harrier GR9 and the Tornado GR4. That wonderful twister finishes off to our left. Now look directly to the front for Jippo. Reds 8 and 9 pitch up to roll around 6 and 7. They then roll. Get your cameras ready for the Jippo break. With his smoke changing from blue to white on the right hand side is red 7. He's synchro number 2. Flight Lieutenant Mark Lawson. It's Mark's second year with the team. His background is solely on the Tornado GR4, where he spent 3 tours through Iraq, Afghanistan and Libya and became a qualified weapons instructor. Now descending to 100 feet with their final manoeuvre. These are the double rolls. Ladies and gentlemen, please a big round of applause for the fabulous synchro